Hello, this is the Workbench, episode number 12. I'm Seth Werkheiser along with Bill Meese, two people who work in music and love technology, sharing our nerdy knowledge to help make your work easier and more manageable. Good evening, Bill.
What's up, Seth? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Before we got on here, I was listening to the new song by Pamplemousse, Come Out and Play, and that got me in a dancey mood.
I like speaking with you when you're in a dancey mood.
Dancey mood, and I made late night coffee, so we could be in for a treat here.
Yeah, dancey mood Seth is always makes for a better show.
We'll see how we do. What if I burn out like halfway through? What if I hit the wall?
That's all right. We'll just we'll carry on without you. The show
prop
must
me up
go on
somehow. Somehow, with what we're going to talk about, you could probably automate some way to hold me up and carry on.
Maybe there's an IFT recipe for that.
Correct.
But a bit of an update from my story last week.
Ooh.
With my my wife's phone.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't remember where I left off on the story, but
You left off that you're going to have to go back a couple days later or something.
yeah, because he was replacing the logic board.
Yeah.
Whether or not he broke it, I don't know. I kind of don't even care. But he foot the bill himself.
Good.
So he paid for it, which is great.
Yep.
So I picked it up today, about 2 hours ago. And he's like, "Oh, by the way, it's unlocked."
Oh,
So,
hello.
Yeah. So so for those who don't know what that means I can now pair the phone with any carrier.
Yes.
Which wasn't possible beforehand.
Wow.
But which, I mean, that's awesome and all, but after some quick research, I realized that, if I just go back to AT&T, I can jump on right where I left off in my plan and be eligible for her upgrade in September. So I'm probably just going to do that. But anyway, the fact that I got an unlocked phone back is pretty cool.
Yeah, but a fully working phone now, right?
Yeah, so far so good. She's setting it up right now. And good news.
Yeah.
iCloud to the rescue.
Oh, really?
Her very smart husband enabled automatic iCloud backup, which I totally forgot about.
Oh.
So when I was setting up the phone, it prompts you to, would you like to restore from the most recent iCloud backup? And
of course.
It said, I think like 3 or 4 days ago, like a day before we took it to the shop. So she got everything back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so all that drama for nothing.
Wow.
And all of that, all the photos and videos that she was so afraid she'd lost, we now have it back. Thank you, iCloud.
A happy iCloud story.
Yes, a happy iCloud story.
That's fantastic. Good.
How's your week, man? What have you been doing?
Week's been good. Week's been productive. Leading up to this episode, been playing around with some of the things that we're going to be talking about. Having some fun with that.
Yeah.
But it's been good.
I listened to the most recent episode of Back to Work today. Yeah. And those two, Dan Benjamin and Merlin Mann, tipped me off to a product that I'm very eager to go and purchase. I haven't even Googled this yet, but just from their description, I want it.
What is it?
It's called AquaNotes.
Okay.
And when they first said it, I'm like, AquaNotes, what the hell is that? And then I realized, oh, that has to be, it's waterproof notepads for the shower.
Oh.
Now, if you're a productive person, or you're just anyone in general, honestly, you know that some of your best ideas and some of your clearest mindsets come when you're in the bathroom, whether it's in the shower or
other places.
Other places. I don't know about you, but when I'm in the shower, like, that's when I have the most like clarity and light bulb moments happen. And
totally.
I actually say out loud sometimes, like, I'm going to forget this. I'm going to forget this. And as soon as I, leave the bathroom, I forget it.
Yep.
So AquaNotes seems to be a solution for that, which I'm undoubtedly going to try out.
Sounds good. Yeah, totally. The whole idea of, man, when the idea pops in your head, you got to capture it. You got to get it down.
Yeah.
Whether you're in the shower or you're in between errands or something, you got to record it, man, because in my experience, you're just going to forget it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the basis of GTD is just emptying your head and getting it out into a system that you can trust. But
GTD is getting things done, for those not in the know. Written by David Allen.
Right.
We could link up that book in the show notes.
Yeah, it's only been in, I don't know, half the episodes.
Well, maybe, yeah.
So I wanted to bring up a quick question for you before we get started.
Ooh.
So, with all this phone drama I've been going through.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of research on the new Apple devices and, updates and upgrades and pricing, blah, blah, blah. And after realizing that the upgrade pricing on the iPhones, even with a 2-year renewal, like when you're eligible for an upgrade,
right,
it's still pretty expensive. So I wanted to ask your opinion on when does a phone stop being a phone and become just another tablet or computer?
Wow. How do you mean? You mean because you want to use it almost to stop using it like in your day-to-day, like carrying it on you all the time?
No. My point is, I almost feel like the new iPhones, specifically the iPhone 6 Plus, because of its size.
Oh, it's giant, yeah.
Yeah, almost stops becoming a phone in a lot of ways.
True,
and just becomes another tablet.
Right.
And it really got me thinking, like, and then I did some research, and I found out some people, like, have iPhone 6s and, have, like, a Motorola flip phone that they paid $10 for. To, like, do.
Really?
Yeah, and that kind of got me thinking, like, when do these, what are we headed towards a time where it stops becoming a phone and just, continues to be a computer?
Right. I mean, I with my iPhone, I use the phone so infrequently, and sure, I text on it, but I mean, like, that's something that could easily be done on an iPad, and if it has an always connected internet connection, like, there you go, and it has a bigger screen, and it's easier on your thumbs. So maybe the flip phone idea ain't so bad.
Yeah, and the reason why I even thought of the flip phone was because, we were without a phone for a few days.
Yeah.
And, my wife needed something, home alone with the baby. So I literally walked into the store and I was like, give me the cheapest, most basic phone you have. And I spent $15 and walked out. And it got me thinking, like, wait a minute. Like,
right, $15 a month, really?
No, like, just $15. And then it's just...
for the phone, right.
Yeah, it's just part of my plan.
Right.
And it's obviously not costing me that much to run a flip phone. But
right.
It got me thinking, like, when, are we headed towards a time where they're not even phones anymore?
Right. It's just I got to say, like, I had the iPad mini for a while, man. I loved that thing. That was the perfect size. And, like, if that thing was connected to the internet all the time, and I could just do messages and maps and stuff on it as I was traveling and stuff, that would be perfect. And you can get it with
Wi-Fi only?
Yeah, it was Wi-Fi only. Yeah, right. I could totally get the connected one.
Why did you get rid of it?
I needed the money.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Great resale value. Go Apple.
Yeah, that happens. So,
but that iPad Mini now is like $250, I think, brand new.
Is it? Maybe. Yeah, it's not that much bigger than an iPhone 6 Plus. Honestly. No,
not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I would prefer the iPad Mini to the 6 Plus.
Yeah, we'll see where the Meese family ends up, but we're in a state of flux with our devices right now.
I gotta tell you, man, doing a lot of the research I did with, like, prepaid and stuff like that, and getting out of my contract from AT&T. It's a battlefield out there of, like, rates and plans and this and that. It's crazy.
What did you do again? Could you remind me and our listeners?
Our listeners, yeah. I have an iPhone 5 that I bought about 2 years ago. Next month it'll be 2 years, and I was paying $70 a month for my data plan at the time was like 1.5 gigabytes, and I was not using it at all, and I was paying $70 a month. I was looking at other carriers, what's the name? T-Mobile and this and that. They're all like, we'll buy out your contract. We'll buy out your contract. And all of them are like, yeah, we'll buy out your contract if you come over to us, for a $50, $60 contract. I was like, no, I want to pay less. I don't stream music. I don't stream YouTube or Netflix on my phone. I don't need all that much. So I finally looked at AT&T's prepaid plans, and they had prepaid data plans for the iPhone for like $40 a month. So I was like, why am I paying $70? I could be paying $40. So I broke my contract. I only had a couple months to go, so it wasn't that bad. And now, I mean, I'm not doing the 40, but I'm doing $50 a month. So still saving $20 a month over a year. That's fine. I'm happy with that. But yeah, I get 1.5 gigs still, and yeah, unlimited minutes, unlimited texting.
Minutes.
Great. But at the same time, a flip phone with unlimited minutes and texting, would probably get me by.
Yeah.
As long as somehow I could, connect. I gotta say, the messages thing, man, is so sweet.
Yeah.
Can't get away from that.
Crazy talk.
Yeah, talking. Ugh.
What's this episode about?
Pamplemousse? No. I believe we're talking about web automation.
Web automation. I love web automation. Yes,
making the web do things for us behind the scenes so we can be more productive and do other stuff.
You know why I like automation?
Why?
Because it means I don't have to do it.
Yeah. That's what computers are made for, I believe.
Exactly.
They do this stuff.
But more specifically, we're going to be talking about, it's pronounced IFT. But,
it is?
IFT, yeah. But a lot of people, I read that somewhere, that it's pronounced like gift. But just
okay.
But IFTTT, which is an acronym for if this, then that.
Yes.
It's
an old play, I think, on like programming languages.
Yeah.
Or algebra, maybe? I don't know.
Don't ask me which.
Yeah.
But it's a very powerful service that I've been on to for a long time now. And I will be honest, it's one of those services that's so big that I haven't been able to, I don't feel like I'm using it to its full potential.
Right.
But I do have a few recipes, as they call it, set up that I've been using pretty constant for over a year now.
Right. And what they have is channels. They have over 170 channels, things like Gmail, Google Calendar, Evernote, you name it, Dropbox.
Yeah, just
a
about
bunch of stuff.
Yeah, just about every web service you can think of is pretty much
Twitter,
on there.
Facebook, Instagram. And then what you do is you put these things together in these things called recipes. So when you do stuff, it triggers stuff and it completes this task. So
right.
what's probably something that you're using?
Well, the recipes I have set up right now is one specific to this podcast is that if anyone ever tweets something with the hashtag Workbench Podcast, one word, that tweet gets sent into a note in Evernote, which I share with you.
Yep. And
at any given point during the day or whatever, we can check into that note, and anytime anyone's ever tweeted that, it'll show up in that note. So this way, when we go to plan the next episode, and we can find a good bit of content to bring up, some feedback from the listeners.
Right. Rather than dig through Twitter, yes, we can look for the hashtag and this and that. But this is in Evernote, like where we do work. So it's in that context. Great. We can pull from that. It's really neat.
And it's automatic. Like we don't have to do anything. It's always just there. And another one I use for is my Fitbit. I have a Fitbit Flex that I've been using for a while now, which I highly recommend. And every day it sends my activity to a Google spreadsheet, which I don't check ever. But every now and then when I'm flying through Google Docs and I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, I do that. And then I open it up, I'm like, damn, it's a lot of steps.
That's cool.
The next one I use is text me the weather every morning, which is pretty cool. I actually totally forgot that was an IFTTT recipe. I just thought that was something my phone did, because that's how long I've had it, and that's how ubiquitous it has become.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It tells me at least how cold it's going to be during the winter, which is pretty important.
Right, totally.
And the final one is anytime somebody tags me in a photo on Facebook, it automatically gets saved to my Dropbox.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, usually if I go to a wedding or a party or something, like
nice.
A bunch of photos get taken, I'll wake up the next morning and like, oh yeah, those are all the photos from last night, which is pretty awesome.
All in one place.
Yeah.
And just in case Facebook ever goes away, but that'll never happen.
Exactly.
Never.
Back up your photos, kids.
Yeah. What about all my photos on MySpace? Where'd they go? One of the big ones I see people using is every time you post to Instagram, you can automate Instagram, sure, to send it to Twitter, but it doesn't send the photo. It sends a link. And this kind of goes back to our email episode where I talked about Pebbles, which is a Merlin Mann thing. That you're sending something, an Instagram photo to Twitter, that's fine. But you got to figure, as a Twitter user, I could maybe see 25, 40 of those Instagram links a day. I can't click on every one of them. You know what I mean? Right,
and to be clear, it's the native Twitter app that doesn't show the photo.
Oh, very true, very true. Well, Twitter doesn't play nice with Instagram, yes.
Exactly, but
they're two competing companies, yeah.
But TweetDeck does.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I've noticed that. With
interesting.
If you're a TweetDeck or a Tweetbot user like I am, TweetDeck for the desktop, Tweetbot for iOS, which operates essentially the same way. They will show the Instagram photo.
Cool. With IFT, you could set it up that it'll send the actual photo to Twitter, and people don't have to click on a link to look at your photo.
Right.
It'll just automatically show up. Highly recommended.
Right. I know a lot of writers use it to automatically upload to WordPress or Tumblr
really?
via email. If you're someone who's posting a lot of blog posts throughout the day,
right.
Posting a blog as easy as writing an email is pretty attractive to a writer that's doing 10, 20 posts a day.
Yeah.
So you can just have blog posts chock full of content, photos, and whatever in your drafts folder, and then just send them off throughout the day into an IFT recipe, and we'll upload to your blog, whatever platform it might be. I'm pretty sure they cover them all as far as channels.
Nice.
So.
Yeah.
Another one that people use a lot is anytime you change your profile picture for Facebook, it automatically updates your Twitter picture.
That's slick.
It's more of a convenience thing, honestly.
Sure, something you don't have to think about then.
But it's a recipe that a lot of people use.
Yep. The archive of Instagram photos to Dropbox or Google Drive and stuff like that, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I was looking at it today, and there's some ones in there that just it's kind of creepy and weird.
Really?
It's one where you can it scans your location, so it's a location-based recipe.
Right.
It gets all the Instagram photos within a radius of your location.
Weird.
And then saves it to wherever you want, whether it's Evernote, Google Drive, or whatever.
Okay.
Or even an email. Like, you can wake up and, anyone that was around you overnight, their Instagram photos get emailed to you. It's honestly really weird, but that's the power of IFT. You can do that kind of stuff.
Right. You can also do some pretty dumb stuff with it, as far as with Twitter, it can it send direct messages for you?
I don't think so, but I think it can tweet.
Because that used to be a thing. You would follow someone, that you get an automated direct message of hey, thanks for the follow. Check out my band.
Yeah, I think they disabled that, which is a big favor.
Yes.
Because that's just ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
But there, there's even if you get a new email about a Twitter follower, you can set up a recipe to where it tweets at that person with a welcome message, which is kind of lame, honestly, because anyone who's doing social media correctly does it with a personal touch and does it with attention to the individual and not the masses. And that's how you're going to win at social media, not by telling all your followers the same thing over and over again, but by telling individual people you follow different things that apply to them, and
personal connection.
Yeah, and offering value to those people. And to have an automatic, hey, thanks for the follow, that's really dumb, honestly.
Yeah, no thanks. But and to your point, yes, you can use Twitter to, or you can use IFT. You could tie it to your WordPress, which will then, when you publish something, it'll get tweeted, it'll get Facebooked, it'll go up on Tumblr. And again, to Bill's point, don't. Like, the social media stuff is so, and this is another 10 episodes we could do on this, but the social media stuff is just like, what bar is going to be your bar, where the place that you hang out. And for some people it's Twitter, for some people it's Instagram. The place that you hang out is the place you're going to have the most impact. So,
right.
So just because you can post it everywhere doesn't mean you should. Right.
And if you do, make it unique, make it specific to, make it some sort of, offering of some kind of value, so that it's
right. If it's on Tumblr, make sure it's a big, awesome picture with a bit of text and it looks good. Great.
Right. Because if not, it's just going to be more white noise that the internet doesn't need.
We do not in 2015.
But so you can use this stuff for stuff I would never do, like logging all of your Foursquare check-ins in a Google spreadsheet.
Right.
I mean, that's awesome, I guess, if you have a need for that. I'm sure there's someone out there that needs that kind of Big Brother kind of tracking.
Or a little history of where you've been and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like, where have you been? Well, check out my Google Sheet. It's exactly where I've been.
Right. Here's all the cool bars I've been to or something.
I guess so, yeah.
I guess.
But honestly, one of the coolest channels on IFT is the ESPN channel. And if you're a sports fan, this is awesome. I don't know. Are you familiar with the Hue light system, the Hue light bulbs?
Yeah, my buddy has that set up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a level of technology that's just pure luxury, and one day that'd be awesome, but it's not not mandatory in my house yet. But
it's not a productivity hack, really.
No, it's kind of just like productivity trickery.
Changes the color of your lights, right? That's it.
Yeah. If you hook up the ESPN channel to your IFT, like every time your team wins, you can have IFT send a message to your Hue light bulb to glow the color of your team.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy. Like, I think about it, like, what if I pull in my driveway and, the light outside is blue? Does that mean that the Mets win or the Giants win? Or if it's green, the Jets win? That's actually kind of cool, but...
That would be cool.
But there's actually one specifically in there for Boston Red Sox fans. It will keep a log of Boston Red Sox final scores in a Google spreadsheet, which is kind of crazy.
That's neat.
But,
why not? Yeah.
But other sports news, you can have IFT email you your latest fantasy baseball news, or you can even have it tweet the final scores of your favorite team, which kind of goes against what we just said as far as like automatically tweeting stuff you don't curate yourself.
Right.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's there's some neat stuff you could do with IFT. Again, from stuff like collecting stuff from social media and putting it in a Google Doc, or saving files for you automatically to Dropbox. There's a whole bunch of neat stuff to it. We're going to link up a couple things in the show notes, a couple outlets that have included some neat stuff, neat posts about it. So you'll be able to dig into that as well. A lot of this stuff, it's always you need to dig in and kind of see what you can work.
Yeah, I mean, I check in on this thing like once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Just
to see like the new channels and stuff. And every now and then I find the cool thing about this is that when you find something that works for you, it really creeps into the background and you honestly forget about it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole point of web automation, is finding something that will do an action or a task that you then have to no longer think about.
Right.
And like the same thing with the weather getting text to my phone every morning. I totally forgot that was IFT because it was such a it was such a regular occurring thing that the way it got there totally just I totally forgot about it.
Totally, yeah, it's cool.
IFT also has some location-based recipes that are actually pretty awesome. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Nest thermostat, right?
Yes, yeah.
I don't have one. I have the Nest smoke alarm, which was kind of a weird gift to get, honestly. It was like, awesome, this is really cool. I hope I never have to use it.
Yeah.
But it's so that connects it. The thermostat connects to IFT, and there's a location trigger on IFT on the iOS app. So if you leave or enter a certain radius of a specific area that you set, that then triggers whatever action you set up. So for example,
it can send tweets for you when you enter a certain geographic area too.
Yeah, which there again, I don't know if you want to automatically go posting to social media about where you're going. But,
hey, I'm in Philadelphia.
But this one is when you exit a certain area, it will set your Nest thermostat to a specific degree. So obviously, if you're leaving your house, you can have it set up to lower the air conditioning or raise the heat or vice versa, whatever. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I think I tried out one recipe once where like every time I left work,
right, it
would email my wife.
Yeah.
To say, hey, I'm coming home.
Right.
But then it started emailing her when I was like leaving for lunch and stuff, and it was just it's like forget that.
Oh man, yeah. If it's after 4 and I leave, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Right.
But back to the Hue light bulbs. This one's pretty cool with the location-based trigger. Every time that you enter a certain area, whether it's your neighborhood, your block, or your city, or whatever, you can actually set it up to make the Philips light bulbs glow a certain color in your house. So if you set it up to where the lights glow green when you're almost home, you can do that.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy. Like, if you have family that's home and, the kitchen lights turn green, it's like,
sure.
Oh, Daddy's almost home.
Yay.
But, more work specific, you can also have it like log your work hours on Google Calendar.
Okay, yeah.
Based upon when you enter and exit a specific location. Right. So that's pretty cool.
Cool.
So yeah, man, that's it's
you
kind
of hit Zapier or Zapier.
Oh yeah, I feel like you have more experience with that.
Yeah, you turned me on to that, but I really been digging into it, and holy moly, I just played around with it for a couple hours and like.
Is it Zapier or Zapier?
I have no idea.
Zapier sounds. I think it's Zapier because they're always like set up some zaps. So.
That's true. Zapier. You're right. Yeah, I was able to do like set up this one thing where what I want to do sometimes is I get an email and I want to like archive it in Evernote, but I also want to add it as a to-do in Trello. Like those are two things I'm always using. But like I can also set it to like give me a reminder in 7 days on Trello and put it in a certain board. It was or a stack or column, whatever the heck they call it. It was bonkers. Like, you could do so much with it. Like, you can extract information from that email, like if it's a URL or an email address.
Oh, yeah. What is that called? It's the Zapier. There's I'm forgetting what it's called.
They have a name for it. But there's that and, like... Oh, I have another one, too, where I have a client that they'll add files into a Dropbox folder that we share. And whenever that happens, I get a little Dropbox notification. Oh, so-and-so added file. Well, I was able to set up with Zapier. When that happens, like, put the file name into a Trello card and add it to my to-do list and schedule it for 3 hours from now.
Right.
Which is awesome, because usually I'd be the one, oh, that's there. Let me set up my own to-do thing. And, no, this does it automatically.
It's the Zapier email parcer.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I use that for something at work, and I feel like I gotta curate a little bit more, put a little more effort into it, because it was just extracting a whole mess of text, and it was I was just like, forget this. But
yeah.
But I've always viewed Zapier as something a little bit more powerful than IFT.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's priced accordingly.
Yeah, IFT is free.
IFT is free. Exactly. IFT
By
is
the way,
totally free. Zapier's free for like a couple zaps, and then you got to pay $20 a month. And
yeah, well, I know a lot of small businesses will use that for
totally
for customer info, customer retention, customer service.
Yeah, you can add, like, if people tweet you, it'll add it to a customer relations management piece of software and put a date to follow. It's bonkers.
Right, and that's when you get really creative, and but honestly, that's when web automation really kind of takes off, is when you kind of just get beyond just saving your tagged Facebook photos in your Dropbox.
Sure. Yes, because once you have all that information then in front of you, then you can act on it. You have it in this one place. Great. Let me sit down. Let me do this thing relating to these 10 tweets, and then move on. Yeah, totally.
Right.
Whew.
That was like giving birth, man.
That was giving birth to great ideas.
So yeah, web automation. Try some of these out. Let us know if you have a cool recipe that you use that we should be checking out. I'm always open to check new recipes out. Hell, man, if it can make my my life easier, please let me know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, I think that's our show.
Yeah. Visit us at workbenchpodcast.com for links to everything we talked about in this episode and much, much more.
And hey, if you're subscribed to the show on iTunes, please give us a review. That helps the show get around, and we'll read all your reviews and take them very seriously and help improve the show.
Yeah, especially only if they're good, though.
Sure, yes.
And for questions and comments, you can find either of us on Twitter. Seth is at SethW. I am at Bill Meese. And if you want to email us, you can find us at hello@workbenchpodcast.com. And you can also find us on Patreon.
Yes, you can. All those links and more will be on workbenchpodcast.com.
Hey, Seth.
Yo.
Later, buddy.
Hey, talk to you later.
Bye.